Good morning, LightHearted Rainbow Tribe. I've had some surprising revelations, insights this morning in my morning contemplation, and I look forward to sharing them with you, along with the beauty that is the glory of this morning. Deep in the silence, in the still water, the brilliant sea, and diamond-like flashes, and streams of living light, fluid, flowing, adorn us, penetrate, liberate, uplift us into conscious union. Silence. The glory of the morning, huh? How wondrous. Arise and shine was the song in my lips, in my heart this morning as I woke up with the sun streaming into my house, filling it with light, and filling into this temple, this wide open heart, filling it with light. Now I wish this for all of humanity. The surprise of my morning contemplation involves duality. And for so long I've been so focused within unity consciousness, within the full-on realization, living from within this amazing embodying presence, as this embodying presence, to the place where this embodying presence lives as the one who is here speaking, is speaking right from this human. And there's still some working going on in my system from what I mentioned in the last video, I think the sermon that the Reverend Dr. William J. Barber II gave on Sunday. Humanity's choice, the sacrilege of greed, the salvation of grace. And what I've recognized is the phrase that evildoers and do-gooders do no good because of being in dual consciousness. Now, I don't want to create another duality between the dual and the non-dual, which I think is going on quite a bit, and the tendency towards fundamentalism in our systems to believe, oh, I've got it, and what it is this. And when you don't have this, then you're bad, you're wrong, you're even evil. That is evil doing. That is dualistic evil doing. It's separation consciousness. It's dualistic. Whether we're doing it in our own consciousness, being, with a spiritualized superego, watching our consciousness for every dualistic thought. Gonna get it, gonna not allow that, It's like the next step up from positive thinking. Oh, I can never have a negative thought. Relax. There is this that is beyond dual and non-dual, and you've heard me speak of it before if you've been watching these videos. And it's a beautiful, beautiful deepening and opening of realization. Within the dualistic realm, it has come to my attention, especially as I listen to this sermon, that we're going to fall somewhere in the spectrum of evil doing to good doing in the dualistic realm. So the beautiful, well-intentioned do-gooders who are trying to make life better for everybody, I don't want to, categorically say it does no good. But when there is a somebody doing good, it's limited. It's still within the realm of opposition. And that's what I'm pointing to when I speak to the non-dual versus the dual. It's still in a realm of subtle opposition. We have to be very quiet to notice these goings-ons in our system, because the spiritualized ego system is still an ego system. It's still operating in separation as a thing, an entity, a part of its own. And the subtleties of that reveal themselves as we continue to open into this vast silence, this precious withinness that is not moved by any of it. So when we recognize that, our wholesome intention is primarily to awaken from this dream of duality and to live by grace. I was drawn this morning to pull out my little book of the class that I took on the Noble Eightfold Path. That's a teaching of the Buddha. It's so beautiful. And the particular little book that I have is very potent, very dense. The author's first known by, I want to say it's a name, these these sacred words that are given as appellations to people are naming something that's showing up in truth. But his first name is Bhikkhu, Bhikkhu or something like that. And the explication of opening into a moral life, which is what Reverend Barber is speaking to. What is a moral life? What is the basic goodness of being? That is the way to live. And in the teachings of the Buddha, they teach the Noble Eightfold Path. It was a beautiful description that each of the 8 aspects of the Noble Eightfold Path create a beautiful cable. And each one provides a strength of our union, of being able to be, have this cable that anchors us in the unity consciousness and living as such. And it's so perfectly beautiful, precise, and clear. And so there's the right view, the ability to see clearly. There's the right action that is all our motivation. It is the emergence of wholesome action in thought, in speech, in behaviors, including right livelihood, our devotional action of service in the world, no matter what we're doing, it's how we're doing it. It's the recognition that the energy and the life that we put into with care and concern for the well-being of everything, from sweeping the floors to whatever the most exalted thing you can think of, is teaching truth to people, perhaps. It doesn't matter where in the spectrum you're given to act. Is it wholesome? Is it based in basic goodness? Not a goodness that has a dualism, but a recognition beyond dualism that there is a basic, inherent, benevolent goodness to life, to being, to the simplicity of who we are. I think I spoke last week about the simplicity of simply sitting on the earth, recognizing the inherent goodness of just being and sitting and allowing the presence to open into us in quietness. I of myself do nothing. There's not a do-gooder here. And the recognition of the oppositional movement of doing good in the face of what is not good. And the painful limitation that holds the world in, all the people, everything in the world in. And I just was visiting all these different beautiful wisdom traditions this morning and just focusing in on, the mystical heart of them, because they can be perverted into duality, and they are. There are people in all wisdom traditions that are fundamental, basic, good versus evil, us versus them, subject-object relations of separation. And so anywhere you go, be on the lookout. What's being preached? What's being taught? Is there any them and us, even dual versus non-dual? And are you doing that within yourself? The superego split from the ego and the id, judging and evaluating. Have you got it right yet? No, never good enough. I'm wondering, to go so far as to say that dualism is a perversion of the truth. No matter how good you're being in the dualistic realm. Pretty bold statement. That's the dream. That's the error in human consciousness, that it's become split off from itself. And then in that split off, there's a good and a bad, a right and a wrong, a me and a you, a this and a that. All evaluated. And usually based on pleasure versus pain. What makes me feel good? What makes me feel bad? Grasping onto one and avoiding the other, this is the cause of suffering. And the Buddha taught, which these beautiful teachings can be applied no matter what wisdom tradition you're in. It's the beauty of it. You're not getting a new God. You can have the God that you have if you love that God first and foremost in your life. And it's not something separate from you. Not some other entity somewhere in some place called heaven that you're not. And some belief that you have that you have to earn your way into it. You don't. How difficult it is to accept that we are already the child of this, the emanation body of being that is given forth by this to express and experience its life. So it's very easy to look at our world dualistically and see the evildoers. And I don't want to deny that for 1 second. It's pretty darn undeniable. But to recognize that in the face of being a do-gooder does no good, then we have to stop. Stop. Stop all the evil doing and doing good. And if you begin to watch your consciousness, your mind, your thoughts, your actions, your speech, what you do, what motivates it, what drives it, you're going to find that it has something to do with pleasure versus pain, avoidance and grasping, and that's suffering. Trying to feel better about ourselves when we believe deeply there's something wrong with us. And we've been taught that. We believe it. And every day we do stuff that proves it. See? Right there. I didn't think of the right thoughts. The opening into unity consciousness through our daily sit and our ongoing stopping throughout the day to make that conscious contact. And I don't care how separate you are from that, that's the right intention for your life, which is one of the Noble Eightfold Path. The sacrilege and the suffering, or grace. Living by grace. The big medicine that this omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent being offers us continuously from within the self, the capital S self, from within our very own consciousness, without separation, unity consciousness. I am so grateful to be able to share this to be living a life in which this is being offered out in some way, shape, or form all the time. Because that's what our true nature is. Its action is. It's love in action. And it's a continuous outpouring. All we have to do is be the wide open, empty vessel that opens to receive. The kenosis that I talked about a few weeks ago. Beautiful teaching of Jesus that is emptying out of everything. I of myself am nothing. I know nothing. I do nothing. This within does the works. Does everything. And this of myself, it gets to relax and merge in. Reunite all of myself. Every particle, every atom, every aspect of this amazing human beingness. And allow this to emerge as us in a beautiful life of grace and holy being. It's our natural inheritance. May peace be among all being. So it is. So be it.